Welcome to episode 8 of Talks Comics. I'm Brandon.
I'm Brian.
And the main topic for this episode is going to be independent comics. So we're going to be talking about some of the new series from Image, Oblivion Song and Gideon Falls, as well as the new story arc Shattered Grid from Boom Studios' Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And we're also going to be giving out our comic book recommendation at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please do.
Now, why don't we get into some comic book news? What do you got for us, Brian?
Well, you know, you're talking about all these publishers and all these different comic books coming out, but we got to talk about some DC news for sure. If you're not aware of what's happening right now with the Batman story arc, you know, there is the big marriage and
the wedding,
coming up.
Batman number 50.
Right. So I believe this first issue that just kicked off number 44 is kind of the first part leading up to what's going to happen in issue
start
number
planning.
50. But what's going to be cool, there is going to be spin-off series from this whole story arc. So we're going to get.
What are we getting?
Oh, well, I actually am really excited for this one. Jolie Jones, who did the B cover, the Catwoman cover that just came out for number 44.
Yeah.
She's going to be working on a Catwoman series for DC Comics for the Rebirth line as well. So it'll be very, very interesting to see her take on that. She's going to be joined by Laura Allred. She's going to take over as the artist on that series. And basically, the first issue in the series will follow Selena Kyle pretty much on her wedding night. Basically, she's being stalked and looking for this copycat burglar in the streets of Gotham City. So we're going to get some sort of a cool little story where Catwoman's definitely going after somebody who's copying everything she does, basically.
That sounds cool. I'll have to definitely check that one out.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to check out, and it'll be available on July 4th, so something to look forward to for the holiday.
Cool. Well, I also got some DC news.
Okay.
So remember from the DC Rebirth special how we started hearing about the 3 Joker mystery?
Right.
Yeah, so we heard that there's 3 different Jokers, and then we didn't really get much after that. Well, at C2E2 this year, they were asked at the DC panel if we're going to get any more on this. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the producers, or editors, one of the editors for Batman, he said that Jeff Johns has already written scripts, and Jason Fabok is already working on pages on it for right now. So we don't have an official date, but it is going to be coming soon.
There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of great news coming out of C2E2, you know, and I'm sure there's, the exclusives. Did you see some of those foil variants they had this time around? Some pretty cool ones.
I love the foil variants.
Yeah, they're very fun variants to pick up when you're at the conventions. But the one I think is going to be the next hot one is the Teen Titans number 12, that foil variant.
Yeah, I've seen that one online.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be going after that one. And I think they're already out the gate going for about $30. So you can find those online retailers or maybe even at your local comic shop. So
definitely. So what else you got for us, Brian?
Well, if you remember, we went to WonderCon this year, and we went to the Boom Studios Find Yourself panel. And they were talking about some upcoming series that they've been working on with some of their newer creators. A Dark Crystal series that's going to be coming out around the same time that the Netflix series is going to be coming out as well.
Yeah, this sounds awesome.
It really is. So if you're not aware of the Netflix series that's coming out, and if you're not aware of what Dark Crystal is about, it's based off of the original Jim Henson film from Jim Henson Productions, and it's basically an epic hero story of somebody trying to find themselves along the way and save the day, basically. So I don't want to give too much away here because I would recommend going and watching the film yourself. But with the series coming up on Netflix, this series, the comic book, will definitely be a fan favorite. I'm looking forward to that, and we'll give you more news and updates as that continues to progress here at My Comic Universe.
Sounds cool. Well, my last bit of news is that you might have heard that we're going to have the No Justice miniseries come out soon from DC Comics.
That's right.
And that's going to lead out to different teams of the Justice League.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
One of those teams is going to be called J-Lo.
Oh, yeah.
Or Justice League Odyssey. So this is going to be a space-themed Justice League team, and it's going to consist of Darkseid.
Yeah.
I know. That's weird.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
so
Darkseid.
I'm curious to see where that goes. And then you're also going to get, like, Starfire, Azrael. Who else is in there? Oh, yeah. Jessica Cruz, the Green Lantern.
Interesting.
And it's going to be led by Cyborg.
Well, that's going to be an awesome team.
Yeah, so I really want to see how this series, takes off and, where they go with this. Because, I mean, Darkseid on this team, that's going to be cool.
The post-metal storylines and all the post No Justice.
Yeah.
Like, look at the Teen Titans. They're going to bring in Lobo's daughter as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be really cool to check out as well. So we'll keep you posted on that Teen Titans series and on the J-Lo series as it continues to unfold here at Talks Comics, right?
Exactly. So why don't we get into our main topic for this episode?
That's a great idea.
Which is the independent comics. So what did you think about Oblivion Song? Do you think this is another big hit for Robert Kirkman?
Okay. First off, if you're not familiar, Kirkman has done The Walking Dead, he's done Outcast, he did Invincible, all great series, all highly recommended, but this is a new, great take on a whole different type of story. But I have to say, I liked the first issue, I liked the characters he brought into the world that he's trying to create. I definitely like Nathan Cole's character and Duncan's character and a couple of the other backgrounded characters as well. But really, I really enjoy it a lot, and I would like to see where it goes. But overall, I like it, and I think this is a big hit for Kirkman. I think this is going to be another strong story with a lot of dynamic changes to it.
Cool. Yeah, well, for me, I'm not exactly sure if this is going to be a big hit for Kirkman yet. But since we just got this first issue, I really liked it so far. So I'm pretty much leaning towards it will be, but I want to see where it goes a little bit more. Right away when I was reading it, the first thing that captured me was the art. I started just flipping through those pages and I just started getting into this world. I'm like, what is going on? You see these crazy monsters and they're just being like chased and attacked. It's really cool. One thing that I really like also is that it's not just this like post-apocalyptic comic like I initially thought.
Right.
He's actually traveling to this alien dimension and there's these people that they're finding, and so because they find these people, they assume that there's more. And the main character is actually looking for his brother. So he has some selfish motives, for wanting to do this, and I'm really curious to see, how far they're gonna go into this. Like, it seems like something's gonna happen with his brother, and they're gonna meet up, so that's gonna lead to our main character wanting to go back to Oblivion, the alien dimension, a lot more.
And that is going to be an ongoing series that you can pick up at your local comic book shop. I believe that comes out at the beginning of the month.
Yeah, it's like the first or second week of the month.
And we'll keep you posted as the series unfolds here at My Comic Universe. But also, let us know what you thought of Oblivion Song down below.
And what did you think about Gideon Falls?
Okay, so Gideon Falls was another cool, well-written story from Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, Jeff Lemire.
And if you're not familiar with Jeff's work, he's working on all the Black Hammer stuff in the Black Hammer universe. But if you haven't read Terrifics, that he's also doing the Terrifics, the post-metal series of the New Age of Heroes for DC Comics. I thought it was very cool. It was very grounded and very real for a Jeff Lemire story. And I do like that Image Comics has been really, really diving into these stories, these American Gothic horror stories.
Yeah.
Not just this one, but also Redlands was another one that had to do with
a very good one.
Very well received, and it had to do with witchcraft in the South. And then of course, it's not really too Southern Gothic, but then of course Donny Cates' Redneck was also very well received, and it has some of those themes tied to it. So I really enjoyed the first issue.
Yeah, so for me, this issue was a lot different than Oblivion Song. So for me, when I was reading Oblivion Song, the art really got me right away.
Right.
With this one, it was more the storytelling. Like, Jeff Lemire really got me into this.
Yeah.
So I was flipping through it, and it was kind of a slow take for me, but then by the end of it, I was really intrigued. I really wanted to know, was this character really crazy? Because he's going around picking trash, and he doesn't quite know why, but he knows that there's some connection, and you don't get all the information in this first issue, but by the end of it, you want to know, is he crazy or is he onto something? And he's
crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's also the dual storytelling. So there's our main character, and then there's also another story of this priest that's come to Gideon Falls to look into this murder, this supernatural murder. So it's really cool, dual storytelling, and I'm really curious to see how those two stories come together.
Yes, and we'll keep you posted on all the changes in that story for Gideon Falls. I personally have just liked the way that they've set up everything in this first issue. But personally, Jeff does add his little zing to it, his little edge to his characters. But I like it so far.
Yeah, and if you read the little letter that Jeff wrote at the end of this first issue, like, it really gives you a lot more insight into this series. It's something that he's been working on for over 20 years. And, you know, he has the whole story planned out, you know, so as you're reading that, you just have this, like, confidence that, like, he knows where he's going with this. Like, there is something that's going to happen, and it's not just, like, they're coming up with it along the way.
Right. The other series I wanted to recommend by Jeff Lemire was Sweet Tooth. That was another well-done series by Vertigo, so that is another good recommendation. But let us know what you think of Gideon Falls here and a lot of other stories written by Jeff Lemire. Let us know in the comments below.
All right, so, you know, comment below and let us know what you think of Gideon Falls.
And we'll keep you posted here at My Comic Universe about the changes in the story as well.
Definitely.
Now,
all right,
the big topic.
Yeah, this one is a little bit hard to talk about, but
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Shattered Grid from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the tie-in to Go-Go Power Rangers. So this first issue number 25 from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was really intense. A lot happened in this issue, and it changes everything.
It really does.
All right, so if you don't know, this is a whole multiverse story. So this is what really got me into this right away. I love multiverse kind of stories, so there's so much you can do with it.
Right.
It captured me right away. So we have Tommy, who is, you know, kind of like the main focus of this issue and this storyline.
That's correct.
And so there's an evil Tommy, an evil version of Tommy on another universe called Lord Draken. And on his universe, he kills all the Power Rangers and all the villains.
Yes.
But he's not done there. He wants to kill all the Power Rangers from every universe in all of time. So he sets off to go visit a different universe with the Power Rangers that we grew up and love. You know, the Power Rangers from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic series.
That's great.
So he comes and he does something that really affects some of the main characters in this story. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it's really going to change how this whole story takes place and where it goes. So what did you think, Brian?
Well, the main focus, like you said, of the book is on Tommy's character, and I really enjoyed it. I think it really... it definitely adds a new dynamic to the story. Definitely opening the idea to the multiverse. Definitely gives it a whole new edge. And I'm excited for that. But what I really liked about it was it took us back to the beginning when Tommy was just joining the group after he was controlled by Rita.
Yeah.
And it really threw back to that time where he was still struggling to fit in and find his place. And in this story, we do see that happening with his character a lot. He does still struggle to find his place and doesn't know whether or not he really wants to be a leader or a follower. And it's really cool that they got back to those roots. I really like that Kyle Higgins went back on that. He did that in his Nightwing series as well, where he kept going back to Dick Grayson's roots and stuff. And it adds that extra element to the character, which I really liked in this story. And ultimately, we got to go to WonderCon. We went to the Boom Studios event. We were able to read the Shattered Grid event, this first issue, before everyone, which was a really cool experience. But knowing that we were there and we got to be a part of the big discussion of it all, it made me appreciate the story even more. And I cannot wait to see where this takes us.
Well, my favorite part, I don't know about you, but that new Dragon Zord that we saw, where it's like all of the broken pieces from the old ones. Dragon Zords.
Yes.
From all the Megazords.
Megazords, yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, from the other universe.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then, of course, I would assume it's Trini, who's like his servant, basically, in the other universe, who was there. But, you know, I mean, not to give too much away on that, but it is cool to see a different take on the Power Rangers, and that's what we're getting from this.
Yeah. That's what's so great about the multiverse kind of story, is it just changes everything. It, like, allows you to tell a completely different story. So, yeah, I really like this one.
So, honestly, there's so much going on with independent publishers right now. You know, we've been talking a lot about Boom Studios and, of course, Image Comics, but we can't forget all the other unknown ones such as Omni Press and IDW, Dark Horse, Vertigo. They've got some great series that you could pick up at your local comic book shop.
Definitely look out for those. Oh, as you know, Avengers Infinity War, the movie, is coming out. So you might want to be reading up on Thanos. Well, we got some great recommendations for you. And so this kind of is a prelude to the Infinity Gauntlet, where it kind of gives you his motivations on why he's collecting the Infinity Gems.
Yeah, it's really cool take. I think Sterling and Lim play very well off of each other, and it really amps you up for what happens in Infinity Gauntlet. The key things you want to remember and take from both stories would be the fact that, like, you know, Thanos is more than just an evil presence in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or just in the Marvel Universe. He's a tactician. He's a masterful. He's an entity almost who's trying to take over. So if you think of it on that scale, between the two stories, it connects that whole Thanos overall. And I would really recommend that you read both the Silver Surfer Rebirth of Thanos before you read the Infinity Gauntlet.
Exactly. So that is why we're recommending both. And so when you get into the Infinity Gauntlet, this is a really cool story that it's not going to be like the movie, but it's different. It's still Thanos coming to attack everyone. And
of course, there's a lot that happens.
Yeah, a lot that happens. And what's really cool is that you really get to see this like different kind of take on Thanos than what you expect.
Exactly.
You know?
It's really going to be a cool way to get you, the viewer, ready for the Infinity War movie that's coming up.
Like, he's not just trying to kill people just to kill people or trying to attack just to attack. He has, certain motives. Like, he's trying to impress death. And things like that. So that's the kind of stuff that I like. In Infinity Gauntlet especially, there's a part towards the end where, like things change. Like the whole story takes a big twist.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I don't want to give it away. Yeah, but, we definitely want to recommend these two stories because we think that it's going to get you pumped and ready for this Infinity War movie.
Oh, so, wow, we talked about so much today.
Yeah, Oblivion Song.
Gideon Falls, Mighty Morphin, Power Rangers, and all the news. Follow us here. We're going to keep you up to date on all the updates and news that are coming out. You can follow us on our social media.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of our latest content. And we'll be bringing another episode to you next month, as always.
Well, thank you for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.